When people describe a city like London, they often use one phrase, a melting pot. But what does that actually mean? In sociology, integration has never followed a single model. Different societies have imagined different ways for cultures to live together. The melting pot idea emerged strongly in the early 20th century in the United States. Immigrants from Europe arrived in massive numbers, and the expectation was that different cultures would gradually blend into a new, unified identity. Sociologist Robert E. Park described this as a process of assimilation, groups eventually adopting the dominant culture. But reality proved more complicated. By the mid-20th century, many scholars noticed that cultures did not simply dissolve into one another. Instead, they often remained distinct while sharing the same social space. This led to the concept of multiculturalism. Think of neighborhoods in cities like Toronto or London, where languages, religions, and cuisines coexist without fully merging. Sociologist Kymlicka argued that multicultural societies should not force assimilation, but instead recognize cultural rights and plural identities. Another model is the salad bowl. Here, cultures remain distinct like ingredients in a dish, sharing space but keeping their flavor. This idea became popular in late 20th century Europe as migration increased. In recent decades, scholars such as Steven Vertovec have described modern cities through the concept of superdiversity. Migration is no longer defined by a few large groups, but by dozens of smaller communities interacting through global networks. From an Islamic sociological perspective, coexistence has also been historically analyzed. The 14th century thinker Ibn Khaldun argued that societies depend on solidarity, asabiyyah. Diversity can strengthen a civilization when shared purpose exists, but fragmentation occurs when collective bonds weaken. So the timeline looks something like this: early 20th century assimilation, mid-century multiculturalism, late century pluralism, and today's super diverse global cities. But here is the deeper question: is integration about becoming the same or learning to live with difference? Cities like London challenge simple answers. They are not pure melting pots, nor separate islands of culture. They are constantly negotiating identity, belonging, and coexistence. And perhaps the real sociological puzzle is this: can a society remain unified without asking people to become identical? If this question made you rethink modern cities and cultural identity, subscribe and join this channel where we explore the sociology behind everyday life and global societies.